Okay, everybody, welcome to Doctoring Yourself A to Z, episode 4. Today's topic is going to be on blood sugar. Perfect timing as it's Halloween today. As you can see, we are the health detectives, and our show is Doctoring Yourself A to Z. Today, we are on blood sugar. So let me turn this around so we can see our whiteboard, get a little bit closer. All right? And we are on blood sugar today. So, recently it was stated in an article that by the year 2030, 1 in 2 Americans would be diabetic. So what is going on with our blood sugars in America and around the world for that matter? Well, it turns out that in the human body, say somebody my size, 5'9", 165, all you actually need to run the cells of your body with sugar, because the body has to have glucose, sugar, in order to run the cells. We have to have it. But in a person my size, 5'9", 165, all you really need in 1.5 gallons of blood is 1 teaspoon of sugar to run efficiently. And the average American is getting 31 teaspoons per day. This is what's going on. This is why there's so much diabetes and pre-diabetics. All right, so in Halloween, yes, the kids go out, we want them to have fun, but they're bringing home a ton of sugar, and we don't want to have a bunch of little pre-diabetics on our hands, right? So get that candy and just make it last for over 6 months, just a little bit per day. That's it. So the sugar, it's in everything. So you have to learn to read labels now. It's in everything. It's in saltine crackers, peanut butter, things you would never guess sugar's in, it's in there. And not just sugar, but high fructose corn syrups, molasses, honey, it's loaded. So if you start to read your labels and you really want to dial it in, start tracking your sugars, okay? And just straight carbohydrates. Carbohydrates convert to sugars, right? So there's a new thing out there now, you've probably heard of it. They call it the keto diet, and it's mainly high fat, protein, and low carbs. There's a lot of benefit to that, especially if you find that your sugars have been running too high, right? Because when you have high blood sugar, it throws off everything. In our health evaluation, which is at doctoringyourself.com, go there, you'll find a health evaluation there. And we got this idea from, say, Dr. Joel Wallach, who's the main guy that we follow. Dr. Joel Wallach has 4 categories that we use on our health evaluation: hard tissue, soft tissue, blood sugar, and digestion. Within this graph are over 900 plus diseases that you find in the allopathic world, okay? We break it down into these categories. So go take the health evaluation at doctoringyourself.com and see where you land on blood sugars, okay? Now, what you can do about it is you start reading your labels, and you're going to find that your grains, this is a book called Grain Brain. There's another one out there called Wheat Belly. This one is by Dr. David Perlmutter. He's a neurosurgeon, and then Dr. Davis wrote Wheat Belly. They've taken our grains and they've turned them into hybrids or hybridized. Some of our fruit, they've done that as well. And any hybrid fruit, seedless fruit like seedless watermelon, is especially high in sugar. So the grains have been hybridized, and they're high in sugar. They're a carbohydrate that flips to sugar, and pretty quickly as well. So if you really want to dial it in, you start watching the carbohydrates. You want to keep your carbs 50 or less to be into, say, keto. If you need to lose weight, 25 grams or less, and you'll find that it's difficult to do, and you'll wind up eating fats, proteins, and a lot of vegetables. The grains eventually will just fall off. A lot of your starches will fall off too, right? So that's one of the things. Something interesting here, this guy here is a raw foodist, David Wolfe, and interesting in his book here, The Sun Food Diet. He was hiking, I think it was in Bali, Indonesia, and he has a picture here of a real banana. A real banana is lower on the glycemic index, lower in sugar, actually has real seeds in it, little hard seeds, almost like little almonds in there. showing that our bananas that we're currently eating are actually hybrids and they're a little higher in sugar. Okay? Now, the problem is with the sugar is, if you listen to pharmacist Ben Fuchs, he's got the triangle of disease, which is adrenal, thyroid, digestion, blood sugar. Again, the triangle of disease or health if you have it dialed in. He says that the body likes to run cool. And when you burn lots of sugar, sugar burns hot, fast and hot, and can actually burn your cells, right? So we need to start moving away from so much sugar, all right, and get more back into balance because it throws off the entire metabolism. All right, now, according to Dr. Berg and Ben Fuchs, you could technically live your whole life and never eat any carbs at all. Your body can make the sugar it needs from fat and protein. So you can live your whole life and never eat any carbs at all. So what we do is read your labels, right? And then start to dial it in on the sugar. Now we have a product that helps with blood sugar metabolism. It's called Sweeties. And if you go and you do the health evaluation and you find that your blood sugar is a little off per your scores, this is one of the products that we recommend. What's interesting is there are minerals involved in blood sugar metabolism. In order for sugar to work correctly with insulin, as you eat the sugar, insulin's released to get that sugar into the cell. If you don't have these two little trace minerals, chromium and vanadium, insulin can't really do its job right. It gets to the cell, knocks on the door, but it needs these minerals to get the sugar inside. And I can tell you, most people are deficient in these minerals. In fact, all the minerals. That's why we have at our group, we have something called the Mighty 90. And that's 90 essential nutrients. Out of the 90, 60 are minerals. And these are trace minerals. So Sweeties helps with the blood sugar. Now, even if you're doing the keto and you're eating low carbs, like I'm doing now myself, I take these every time I eat anyway. And they're dirt cheap. A lot cheaper than having diabetes. Okay? So when you have diabetes, it's the #1 cause of blindness and the #1 cause of amputation. And your risk for heart disease and cancer and these other horrible diseases goes way up like by 3. So go out there, have a good time with the Halloween, but remember, we don't want to have a bunch of little pre-diabetics running around. Now, the next show that I'm going to do, we get into the C category. First thing you think of is cancer. That could take an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and go with vitamin C next time. We're just going to work on vitamin C. But remember the health evaluation, the 4 categories. 1 is blood sugar. All right? So let me make sure I haven't left anything out. Oh, yeah. Let's remember that knowledge is power. So lack of knowledge is lack of power. So, health detectives, go out there and be a person, not a patient. All right? We'll see you next time.